This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Whispers Racing Podcast, Pakenham Cup Day, Northerly Stakes Day in Perth. As always, I'm joined by Matty. How are you, Matty?
Going well, Worm. How are you, mate?
Going well. We're really right at the end of the carnival, you could pretty much say.
Yes. I think the horses have realised as well because most of them at this stage find themselves in a paddock. We haven't got a whole lot to choose from this weekend.
No, it's very, and I don't mean this in any bad way or disrespect, but it is benchmark racing at its best, and we're seeing it come through at Pakenham.
No, absolutely, but that's okay because, as you've always told me, the horse needs to win a race. We've just got to find which one.
That is it. There's races going to go around, and we're going to try and find winners on this episode, as we always do. Last week, Matty, how did we fare?
It was a average day. I'll go with. I think you might have found one on Friday night, which set the weekend up exceptionally well. However, we peaked on Friday night, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, we started at Canterbury and Jury. Geez, that was a very, very good win. Track played even for once at Canterbury, which was good to see. But, geez, that was a very good win. And that is a horse I'm wanting to follow during the summer. They put blinkers on this horse. They get a senior jockey. Ooh, this could be just an ATM machine for the summer for us.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And as we discussed last week, it was one that caught our eye much earlier in the year. So to find that one on a Friday night, I think was exceptionally well done by yourself. And it's definitely found its way into my black book. So I get an alert for its next run.
I even liked it more when they were back in the other first starter. And I looked at its jump outs and were like, well, that was not as good. Am I missing something? Must be some inside info we're missing. So got the drift and I went again. So that was even better. Rolled over to Saturday. It was a hard day because the winds were really high and they were saying northerly along that back straight and just leaders weren't getting much help. But we found Holbein 1x3, paid $6 to place. I'm going to be following him summer. If he can get a track where he can lead easily, he will win a good race over the summer. Pineapple, Matty. Winterbottom race. How did we go?
Winterbottom, yeah, the one that we did preview. So just to remind you of my top four: Adelaide Street on top, Miss Kentucky second, had Paul Ailey third, which ended up winning. So I think we definitely called out that it was a horse in the race with the most upside. But you need to be a very forgiving person to be finding Paul Ailey within that race. But mate, the one that, as I watch the replay, the one that I'll be including into my portfolio, which we'll mention shortly, is my Ballamay, the 3-year-old, to be up against those Group 1 and 2 horses and to be running as it did, I think it ran about 7th or 8th, was exceptional.
Yeah, 100%. If we can just improve just that little bit and they bring it down to Melbourne, hopefully for the autumn, yeah, definitely. It was a very, very good run. I didn't give it much hope. I thought it wasn't even near the class, but yeah, he held his own and yeah, looking forward to seeing, hopefully they bring it down, which leads us...
I think they will.
Yeah, hopefully. Pineapple?
Yes, well, Pineapple, we were in race number 1 and frustrating would be the best way to describe it. Cylinder. Look, Blake Shin had an opportunity.
Oh. And he's just gone. Yeah, I'll talk it through it, guys, while Matty comes back. Yeah, just that corner of Cylinder coming around the corner. He was in the box seat. And
There we go, mate. Sorry about that.
You're right. I'm just explaining the absolute shit show it was at 12:15 at Caulfield when they straightened up, and you can continue on with it, mate.
Yeah, so I think, as I said, Blake Shin ran about the 300. I had an opportunity to get off heels and come out. Didn't take the opportunity, waited till about the 200, and then was squeezed by the eventual winner. So unfortunately, it was a bit of a tough watch to see Cylinder come second. And unfortunately, Little Bros, there was a one steaming down the outside with Mr. D on board. Didn't really give us too much of an opportunity as it came down. I think Blake Sheen was right in Cylinder like a very, very good thing, and unfortunately didn't take the opportunity when he needed to.
No, he didn't, which leads us into talking points. I've just reading the steward's report after Cylinder's race because I just wanted to know if Shin was going to look at the tape or something, because I just thought he had the gap and then the winner just came straight across him and squeezed him half out. So I just thought that they'd look. But then when I read post-race veterinary examination revealed the colt had sustained a lower jaw injury. So the question I have for people out there is, it hit the barriers. We knew that. It was fractious in the barriers. It got a warning from the stewards for its behavior in the barriers. So it's got one strike. Why didn't they check this horse? Like, it's pulled up with a jaw injury from the barriers because it's put its head straight through the front. Like, are the vets doing everything they can to help the owner / punter? Because I don't think they did. If the vet put its hands near its mouth, it would have picked it up straight away because it would have tried to bite its hand off. So, as I say to you, Matty, like, has the vet / stewards made an error, not fully checking this horse out?
Well, look, I think you're going to go with the vets on these occasions. Now, as you said, it probably missed the opportunity to check it out. Interesting to know whether it would have run or not. Most likely not.
No, that's right. And as I say, I know it was a 2-year-old race, off-peak racing. If this was a Group 1, would it have been different? We'll never know.
Good point.
So, wouldn't mind my money back on that horse. Thanks, whoever's listening out there. If you just want to refund me, that'd be good. We'll refund the pineapple too, but we won't. Another talking point, obviously, I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago on the podcast that I reckon the Caulfield Cup will move to the Zipping Classic Day, and it's been noise this week. MRC have come out and are quite heavily pushing this. Matty, your thoughts on Caulfield Cup being pushed back to at least to that weekend?
I'd like to understand what the motives are. You might be able to help us a little bit further on that, but for me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Look, do they like being a lead-up race for your Cox Plates and your Melbourne Cups? Potentially not. Are they going to attract more international talent if they do push it back to around this time of year? I wouldn't have thought so. So I find it hard to understand. But do you know what the motives are for the potential shift?
Oh, my thoughts are it can't be turnover because it's up every year, every month, every week. So it can't be turnover. So it has to be attendance. And they keep talking about clear air. Well, how much more clear air do you want in October? Like, there's nothing on in that time of year. Footy's done. They're talking trade week. It's got to come down to attendance. That's what it's got to be. I think they're worried because I reckon they've seen a decrease in, especially GA. Mainly, that's what they'd be looking at. But they've got to start thinking what is value for money for the GA people, because it's $70 a ticket. Well, it was 70 for the Cox. So I would have thought Caulfield Cup roughly the same. I know the 4-day carnival was up near $80 to $90 per GA. Then you add $10 a can on. Like, what value you were getting. I don't get, like, if I want to take my wife to the races and say, yeah, it's $80 a ticket, what is she getting for that? And she's not a race goer. She'd be just like, well, what a waste of $80. I don't know. They've got to do something because it's got to change because people numbers are decreasing, I reckon. And I look at this weekend, Pakenham Cup Day, and you'd agree, Matty, it's benchmark 70 racing at best if you take the cup out. So Pakenham Cup is stinging adults $30 for a ticket. It's not too bad, but for benchmark 70, no thanks. But what's got me concerned here, $20 for a ticket for 14 to 17-year-olds. Like, what are they getting for value for money? We want to encourage more people to come to our sport and industry, but $20 for that? I don't know. I don't know what Pakenham are going to offer this, but something's got to change, and I think it's got to be ticket prices.
And look, just going back to Caulfield, I think Racing New South Wales would be quite pleased with themselves that they've got Caulfield looking at a potential change of date. Obviously, the Everest is on Caulfield Cup Day as well.
Well, Everest, $30 to get in, and you get a top Aussie quality DJ/band they were having, $30. Now that's value for money. If there was a number top 5 DJ or rock band coming out, $80 is a great price because you're getting an hour of their, quality music. But you're not even getting that. You're just getting some DJ that, out the back, just pumping tunes. Okay, it might be all right, but I think Sydney are leading the way, and if Melbourne don't follow, it could be embarrassing next spring, I reckon.
Good shout. Good shout.
Yeah. Have you got any talking points, Matty?
No, mate. Nothing to raise at this point, mate.
Okay. Buying shares in. What have you got, Matty?
We will be buying a few shares. A couple that we saw over in WA, 3-year-olds. I think it's that time of year that we do need to look at some of these 3-year-olds to add to the portfolio. We mentioned my Ballamay in the Winterbottom. As I said, very impressive to be running in that quality at that age. So hoping they do bring it across potentially for the autumn. And the other one was St. Oreo. Now, it was very close to being the pineapple last week, and would have been nice if it did. So St. Oreo, I thought was just a really tough win over in WA last week. It'll be added to the portfolio and probably one that I would expect to see over on the East Coast at some stage.
Yeah, and I cringed when it crossed the line because I know how much we were talking about it last week, and I didn't have a penny on it because I had a rough day. And, yeah, I was in the fetal position when it crossed the line to finish my Saturday.
Yeah, it was one of very few winners on the Saturday.
Buying shares for me this week, I'm going to go with Gangitano, who was in the cylinder race. If you go on back and watch that, I think Willow gave this an absolute peach. I know if you backed it, you wouldn't be thinking it, but he was given the leaders a huge head start, but you could see he just wanted to keep snicking to last, get out of the headwinds in that shoot race, and he finally found cover. As he rounded him up, he hit the line really hard. I feel it's a race you can follow. The top 4, definitely, but Gangitano and definitely Cylinder are the 2 that I'm going to follow out of the race, but Gangitano to go down to number 1. He hit the line well, and I'm hoping they put him out for a spell now until the Blue Diamond Series because he's one of I'm going to have something early on when the markets come out.
Talking of Willow, had an absolute ripper of the day.
For some reason, he has ripper Sandown Classic days. I remember when it was at the Sandown and he rode, I reckon, 5 or 6 that day. I don't know what he does, but geez, he's riding well.
Absolutely. And this time of year, as we mentioned on many occasions, definitely err towards those premium jockeys, which C. Williams is one of.
Yeah, definitely. We'll move over to trial trackers. No, track stats, sorry. And trial trackers. We'll put these into one. Track stats, Rail True. We're looking at Pakenham, and we're going to look at the Valley as well, but we'll go with Pakenham. Hot conditions Saturday, so tread warily because it could play hard and it could play fast, which it should, especially in the later of the day. If that's the case, look for horses on that rail. I reckon Rail True at Pakenham. It could be very, very leaderish and very scary, especially that second half of the race. Moonee Valley track, Rail True. It's going to play leader as all what leaderish, but if you're in the top 5, you're going to have your chance to win. So look for horses up on speed. Trial trackers. Well, this is not really hard to find if you've done your form already. Pakenham Race 8, number 2, looks like Elvis had 2 jump outs in Sydney for this most recent one. It was under a dead set stranglehold. You could have called the RSPCA because he was dead set, put to sleep, and the jockey was pulling his arms off trying to get it to go slower, but it won nicely. He looks to come back nicely and looks to set for this race, which I reckon he did 2 years ago or maybe last year. He was set for the race in great order, 3:30 as I was typing it up. It's a touch short, but this is a good price to get involved in. That's race 8, number 2. We're previewing the Valley Race 1 and Pakenham Race 1 and Pakenham Race 7. And we'll go around the grounds with the multi and the more important pineapple. I'll kick things off here with the Valley Race 1. It's a maiden over 1,200 metres. The odds got the favourite here, Flying Temperance at $1.96. Thorny Croft $4.20. Rackerman number 5 $4.60. I don't know how they've got that name past the naming people. Number 4, Magna Per, $8, and then you can have $17 the rest. I'm keen to take on the favour here. I'm with number 6 here, Thorny Croft. He was huge on debut. He had no luck whatsoever. I reckon it was pile of effort. I feel he went from the inside most of the race and then went to the middle of the track trying to find a gap. And when he did, he looked really good and to the line. Second up, fitness levels will be better. It's the old cliches, better for the experience and all that. Starts from barrier 1. He gets Ollie. I know Maddie's not keen. I can see him cringing right there. But Rail True, Ollie can just camp behind the leaders here. And when they straighten, they will fan because it is a tight bend, that last one. The gaps will appear. And if Ollie's found that gap, he'll prove way too strong here. My only concern is it's by preferment, and he might want to see 1,400 now, but he's back still at 1,200. I shouldn't question Waller, but that is my only concern on the horse. It's on the drift, 390 at the 440. I'm a bit surprised. I thought he'd be firm, but the one that has firm here is number 8, Flying Temperance. It's the only danger. Debut at the Valley went well. Touch unlucky, but he had his chance to get past the winner, but he didn't. And it was $14 in an okay maiden. But now they're asking you to take $2.10 now into $1.90. I can't be taking that. Market will be our guide, which it is now. They're a betting stable, and I wonder if that's their money right now. The fourth horse in that race won during the week in a very, very weak maiden. I think it was at Ararat. Barrier 4 will suit, and they should sit outside leader. Clear danger, but not for me. Both number 4, Magna Per, and number 5, Rackerman, have both jumped out well and will run nice races. I expect them to drift a little bit. So if you like those both, please wait because you will get a better price. But keen here to kick off the night, Friday, race 1, number 6, Thorny Croft. Matty.
Ollie on board. Okay, interesting. I'll stick with you. As you mentioned, all of these are very, very lightly raced. So we'll stick with your form with the trials, and hopefully that'll get us off to a fast start come Moonee Valley.
I reckon you've got your text message already lined up for when they cross the line, and you'll have 2 of them ready. One of them will be bagging the shit out of Ollie, and then the other one will be good Ollie.
I can guarantee one's already written. I won't know the other one. I know.
Oh, that's good. That is good.
Honestly, Ollie, the last couple of weeks has been seeing them slightly better.
Yeah, he's slowly getting better. So I think I'm on the Ollie bandwagon here for the weekends because we will move over to Pakenham Race 1. I'll preview this one again. The favourite here is a Braden Star, 210. Number 12, Matron Bullwinkle, 440. Number 5, Flash Feeling, 550. Then we can have $17 the rest. And you can probably add a zero to a couple of those. No surprises here, guys. Number 7 here, Braden Star. Nice debut over 1,500 at Cranbourne. First 200 metres, Ollie had to wake the horse up a little bit to get it into the race and find a position. It looked like it was trying to go back to sleep. Not many horses can sit last and wide and go around them on a rail true Cranbourne. So that win was very, very good. Yes, it was a class 3. Yes, the opposition were quite low, but to do that adds extra merit. He looks a very good horse. It beat a horse in Europe who had form around Salcombe, and we know what he did on the last day of the carnival, and favourite for the Melbourne Cup. Barrier 6 can sit midfield, prove hard to beat. I know the price is skinny, but I think we can kick away with the first here and set up our day very nicely with Braden Star from the winnings from Thorny Croft. Number 12, Matron Bullwinkle is the clear danger, and he, if you like your multiples, he's the clear exacta horse to run second. Third up now, Last Start, found the perfect spot with J-Mac on board and just won. Real bunch finish, and I don't like that when reviewing and previewing or doing the form. It's had a jump out since and went really well. Looks to be peaking for this. Third up, as I said, I feel he just doesn't have that X factor like Braden Star is. And the way they were talking up Braden Star was Melbourne Cups, and it was into like $17 for a Melbourne Cup. Please. Number 11 here. So if you like roughies, guys, here's one I'm going to give you here. Number 11, Zar X. Price is completely wrong. $41. Stay with me on this. Beat an Irishman by 2 lengths who came out and beat number 10, Never Again, by 1.25, who's $26. Someone explain to me why there's a price differential, especially this large. I suggest, if you like value, have something on number 11, Zar X, because the price won't hold come race time. Surely they swap around once they've done their form. With Never Again. Last start, Zar X was back and wide and ran home nicely at the Valley where you had to be on speed. Number 6, Spanish Kiss. You have to forgive last start. Was on the wrong part of the track at Ballarat and they were starting to come down the middle of the track that day. So was stuck to the inside, and I thought it went well. 1,600 probably didn't suit that day. Now gets out to a distance it might start to like. So number 6, Spanish Kiss at around $20, but keen here. Number 7, Braden Star. Matty.
Yeah, don't mind it. As you said, there's been a lot of attention on this horse for a little while now, so interested to see how it does go in what it probably should be winning. 3 apprentices within this race, so Pakenham Cup Day, just keep an eye out. Again, be leaning towards the experienced jockeys. Wouldn't mind get your thoughts, though, on Flash Feeling in this race.
Yeah, it was a good win, Flemington. And where was it last start? I remember.
Caulfield.
Yeah, Caulfield.
Eclipse.
Yeah, he was obviously out of his grade in that touch. He had cover. He was out of the winds and sort of just didn't accelerate. So I don't know if he can run 2,000. He might be just a 1,600 meters maximum. I was a bit disappointed by its run. I thought it would have gone a lot better.
No, same here, especially given at Flemington, which was over 2,000 metres, benchmark 80. It was quite impressive against some decent opposition. I just don't see this opposition. I'll put an asterisk next to Braden Star because I'm looking forward to seeing it run. But outside of that, I thought Flash Feeling, if you forgive last run, it definitely should be a consideration.
Yeah, 100%. I thought when I first looked at the race, I thought Braden Star 210. You're kidding me. That is stupid price. But then, especially the field it beat, but then doing the tapes, knowing Cranbourne that well, yeah, you don't do that at Cranbourne, what he did. And for Ollie to be riding this in off-peak racing, that tells me one thing, because he could have easily just gone and grabbed his surfboard and gone on a month's holiday like a few of them have. I reckon it might have kept him around for one more.
Okay.
WhatsApp, guys, you know the drill. If you want to be part of the WhatsApp, please DM one of us. Things are heating up. Multis are flying. I've had more seconds than 60 minutes. So if you want to have a laugh at me running second all week, like I have in the maidens, or fourth when we're having an each way play, feel free to come. We won for the month, so there's the positive, and we're moving into December, and we've sent out some early plays in Mornington and Moonee Valley.
Absolutely. I think there's a few live soccer multis floating around at the moment.
Yeah, let's cheer Brazil for better, for their sake.
Australia, Brazil in the final. Who are you cheering for?
Oh, Australia. I will absolutely, mate. Yeah. I'll even go and back Australia if they make it. To win more. But nah.
That was very well played.
As always, you can always get Matty's thoughts as well, guys. You can even have your own thoughts as well. So, yeah, you know the drill. DM one of us. We'll put you straight through.
Absolutely. And I think the call out from last week was the old mate Heathy, who had an absolute blinder last weekend.
Yes.
Cleaned up on quite a few of those exotics.
Yes.
There was a trifecta in the Winterbottom that
he didn't put, but he didn't put it on the community. He put it on the other WhatsApp we're a part of.
He did, but no, he had an absolute ripper of a weekend.
Yeah. When he doesn't say much, but when he does, it's story time. Sit down, kids. It's winner's time. That's
Uncle
all I
Heathy.
can say. Off cuff here, Matty. Sunday, 6 a.m. Who wins? And not the first race at USA either.
I was about to flick to the form over there. Okay. Lionel Messi, last game in a World Cup, or does he progress? Look, it's obviously going to be tough, but I didn't see us getting through to this stage. So why can't they do it again? They continue to surprise. They just beat the number 10 country in the world.
And yeah, very well. 1-0. Who would have thought? I reckon it goes to extra time.
Okay.
I reckon 0-0 going into extra time, and VAR is going to stick it right where the sun doesn't shine for us. I can see it. It smells of it.
We might be going to extra time, but I can guarantee it won't be 0-0. The Argentinians push numbers forward. We will have plenty of opportunities on the counter attack. It's just whether we can land any punches.
You never know. We've landed a punch in every game. So if we can score against France, why can't we score against Argentina, who aren't playing that well?
This is true.
Wow,
to dream.
Yeah. It's actually got me watching soccer, and people know me how much I love soccer.
It's 6 a.m. The WhatsApp group will be going absolutely mental.
Oh yeah, wouldn't want to be hungover. Pakenham Race 7, Matty. You want to have a look at this?
Let's have a look at the Pakenham Cup. Over 2,500 metres. Now, initial observations, I think there's going to be three really pushing towards the lead. And you got an inside horse, a middle horse, and a wide horse in Good Idea, Swelter, Magic, and Noble Heights. For me, and we'll talk about this in a moment, I just want to be behind these pace setters. I think that's the place to be. Worm, have you got the odds there for us?
Yeah, I do. Favourite is Kissinger here at around 440, 480. Milford, number 2, is about 460. 7 White Cliff, 650. Number 3, Future Score, 850. 8 Noble Heights, $9. And then 5th position, $10. And Vegas Night rounds us out with $13.
Very good. Now, I will preface this, Worm. I'm not as confident in the Packy Cup as what I was in the Ballarat Cup, where we had Banker's Choice and a tissue. So I will preface, I think this is a wide open race with all of these horses. I'm not expecting to run benchmark. So for a Pakenham Cup, yeah, look, it's probably a little bit of an average field in comparison to what we've seen in previous years. But in saying that, the 4 horses I've landed on that we'll have a chat about, good idea. Now, it's going to be one of the ones pushing forward from the inside draw, gate number 2. It'll be sitting close, and we saw it in the Sandown Cup. It's really strong when it leads. Now, that was of a slow tempo. So I wonder how slow this tempo is going to be if it does get challenged, and if it's going to be able to hold on as well as what it did. It's dropping back from 3,200 to 2,500, and that poses a bit of a question for me. But good idea. I did like its run in the Sandown Cup, and I can see it running well here, and obviously worth the mention. Future Score. Now, from gate number 1, I see it sitting a lot closer and steps up from 2,000 to 2,500. It was a solid run in the Ballarat Cup, and if you remember that race, Worm, it stuck to the fence, and that probably wasn't the best place to be for Future Score. I think it'll find this much easier, and if it's not winning, I think it's a really, really good place bet. And Future Score, I think you're finding around about $8 a win, so you should be getting close to between $2.50 and $3 a place. I think it's a really solid place bet. Sound, I find a interesting horse. Look, at the 10-year-old has been exceptionally consistent. Worm, it ran 3 lengths behind the winner in a Caulfield Cup. This isn't a Caulfield Cup, and it's paying $15.
Yeah, crazy.
Needs to be under serious consideration. Now, expect it to be running on. So Sound from barrier number 10, it'll drop back, it'll get cover, it won't get across to the fence. So I see at Pakenham, big wide open track, it's going to be the one running on. And if there is a solid tempo set by these 3 horses up top, then I do see Sound being the one to be running on from behind. So again, serious consideration for Sound. However, where I've landed is Vegas Night. Now, since it changed stables and Vegas Night gone across to Nick Ryan, it's been really, really impressive. It was a last start winner, and it's stepping up to the 2,500 metres, and I see that being a real benefit for this horse. Now, while it did have the lead last start, I don't necessarily think it's going to get the lead here. I think it's going to be from out wide barrier number 9. It'll probably just slot behind Noble Heights as it crosses over and just find some cover. So I think you're going to see 3 horses fighting out for the lead. Vegas Night, Future Score, just sitting off them. And as I said in my observations, I think that's the position you want to be in. Just that 1 back, 2 back from the lead, and then peeling out and getting a run down the straight. So Worm for me at 11s in this field, I've got Vegas Night on top. And that will be a bet for me. And as I said, Sound at 15, that could potentially be a bet as well. And Future Score, look, that's paying 8s. So you're looking at all of these around 8, 11s and 15s in what is a fairly even field. So don't necessarily look at this as a 1-bet play, but my main bet and where I will land is Vegas Night.
It's funny you stated Sound 3 lengths off the Caulfield Cup winner. So I'm going to say to you, who won last year's Pakenham Cup?
Oh, geez, good question without notice. Off you go.
So 12 months ago, the winner of the Pakenham Cup was favourite for the Caulfield Cup. Smoking Romans.
Okay. Yes.
So
Yes, it did.
So you're telling me that Vegas Knight's going to be favourite for the Caulfield Cup in 12 months?
Look, it has been running in. If you go back probably two seasons ago, it was running in listed and Group 3 races. So
yep.
that's where they wanted it to be aiming. It's definitely got potential, and since it's gone across to Nick Ryan, it's improved out of sight. I think at $11, it's the one that I want to be on over 2,500 meters.
Yeah, as you said, Nick Ryan, he's a master of these second-hand horses. He is a freak, and I'd love to give him a horse. If I was looking to give anyone a horse, I rate him very, very highly. Back to the Pakenham Cup. As you said, future score, I'm dumbfounded what Fred Kersley did in the Ballarat Cup. I don't know what he was thinking. Was he off with the fairies? Was he worrying about his next dinner? I don't know, but it was a shocking ride. Gets a better ride from one here. If the rail's hot, he's going to be right there. And there was money for him, I believe, Ballarat Cup Day. So that's a good sign. Two I'm really keen to take on here is number 5, 5th position, and Kissinger. They were nice wins, don't get me wrong, but they were both wins that were in the best part of the tracks on the day. So there's going to be not much of a mad bias other than leading, I reckon. So that won't suit these two horses. $4.80 for Kissinger, favourite. No thanks. I'm keen to have an each way ticket on future score. Totally respect your thoughts, Matty. Yeah, good idea. You could have 7 bets here easily, and you still don't find the winner. But yeah, Vegas Knight, good win last start. It is very, very much overs at top odds of $14.
There we go. Yeah, look, I think it'll get a really, really solid run here. And as I mentioned, I think Future Score as well. Who's on board Future Score? It is still Fred.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't sack him.
Okay. Again, I think it'll push up from barrier number 1, just behind Good Idea, and it'll get a peach of a toe into the race.
Yeah, 100%. Around the grounds, Matty, where are you going for yours?
We're going to stay in Melbourne, and two that we've backed previously and spoken about earlier on this year. Squid Game in race number 4. Look, first and second up, it's always been beaten by really classy competition. And you're looking at horses like Passive Aggressive, Dragonstone, Inundation. Really classy horses. I'm not seeing any of those here.
No.
So at that $5-6 mark, I think it's a very, very good chance for a top 2 finish. It got the better of Berescova over 1,000 meters, and again, a classy horse. I'm not seeing that type of class within this field. So top 2 finish for me, I think, is a high likelihood for Squid Game.
Beautiful.
Race number 6, we go to Umgawa. Now, again, we've backed this horse previously. First up after a really solid jump out. If you haven't seen the jump out, go watch it. It was impressive. At $10 and $3 for a place in what seems to be a fairly even race, I'm going to be jumping on that $3 for a place. Again, I don't see any standouts, and Umgawa first up after a really solid jump out, I think is an attractive bet. If you had to push me though, Worm, out of the 2, I am very much leaning towards Squid Game.
I think we could rename this the Squid Game podcast. We'd probably get we'll get half of Korea watching thinking it's the Squid Game preview, but it's actually after the horse.
Yeah, it does get a fair workout, Squid Game.
It does, because I think this horse has massive talent, and I reckon Paddy Payne's just looking after it, and it might go to Hong Kong very time soon as well.
Okay, would not be surprised. That's an interesting call, but probably fair.
Yeah, owned by Hong Kong people. So I think they're just waiting for one couple of more wins, and it's see ya, which would be sad
Okay, well,
because I'd love to
let's
see it
make
win
sure
a Group
we're
1
on.
here.
Yep, absolutely. Let's make sure we're on them.
100%. Around the grounds for me, I'm going to Rose Hill here. Real out of my lane stuff here. But race 4, Rose Hill, we're going with Frumos. It's had 2 jump outs. The most recent one was really good under a nice little hold. Have to respect the SP here from its last prep. And how could you forget Huey Bowman's ride on one of them? Its SP last prep $3.80, $1.50, $2.15, $1.90, and $1.60. And there was quite a few losses in there as well. Quite happy to take $2.40 first up. I think this horse is a lot better than the field. Barrier 1, it can sit no worse than field and prove too good. And I think the rail's out 4 meters, which might suit horses on speed. So fingers crossed they jump straight behind the bunny. Then we'll go to Rose Hill, race 10, number 3. You can take this one out in your last of your quaddies. Estadio Mestala. I'm probably absolutely butchered it, but we'll go with that. What a debut this was at Rose Hill, coming off the flight from Europe. I can see why they bought this horse off 1 start in Europe. He was good. Barrier 16, no issue for me. He'll just go back. If they're playing even, this horse will just go to sleep out the back and come down the outside and win nicely. I really like this horse moving forward. Estadio Mestala. Its debut win at Rose Hill a couple of weeks ago was nothing but outstanding. Matty, multi, what are you throwing in?
Multi will be going a Squid Game as mentioned for the place, and Vegas Night for the place as well.
All right. I'm going to chuck in Braden Star, the win, $2, and I'm going to chuck in that one I just mentioned, Estadio Mestala, the win as well. That comes to $36. So
Tasty.
we know what will happen there. Pineapple of the week. Matty hands it over. So we could easily go with Braden Star. And I'm looking for a bit more value. Could have gone with either those 2 at Rose Hill. They're around the 240. I thought I wanted more value. I took Matty's thoughts into the Pakenham Cup with a couple of place thoughts. And no, not for me. Mooney Valley. I know these are all going to win. Looks like Elvis. I know it's going to win. So I've come to the decision. We're going to go to Ascot, race 8, number 1, Cascadian. This horse is class above these. It's a weight for age race. It is giving them 0 weight, and it has panels on these. Its handicap rating is well above all these, and you're getting $2.90 at the moment. That is absolutely stupid. Barrier 12, no concern, because they'll just go back like they do in most races. J-Mac flies over to ride it. He only has a couple of rides over there, and one of them's these. He wouldn't be flying over for no reason. So I'll go meet him at the airport, tell him our pineapple's on, and we will be collecting. We're probably going to have to wait till about 8 o'clock at night, but chips in. Race 8, number 1, Cascadian.
Worm, is this your favourite horse?
Ooh. Yeah, it's a good question. He sucks me in every time because he's had an awesome prep. No doubt about it. I've won some nice money off him this prep. I think I've backed him every start this prep, and I'm going to have to go again. And yeah, he's probably my favourite at this current time.
Thought that might be the answer, but no, I having a look at the race as well, and I was tempted to preview it, but I also had Cascadian on top of Amelia as well. And then not much else in the race, so it wouldn't have been a very long preview. So I can see how you've landed on Cascadian.
Yeah, it's just a race. Yeah, looking at the field, like Steinem, I thought he could have gone to the first of the big races kicking off in Perth, but they didn't. Yeah, Amelia's Jewel, no knock, but Geez, she's going to have to go to another level. Yes, she's on the bottom of the weights at 50. It's going to help. But yeah, geez, tricks of the trade. He's got barrier 16 from winning the railway. They're obviously not rating the railway form, and they're asking you to take, well, you can get 320 with a certain bookie at the moment. But yeah, it is a toxic. If you take Cascading out of it, well, you got Amelia's Jewel 350. Oh, interesting. What price would that be if Cascadian wasn't running?
I think it would have a 1 in front of it.
Oh, shit. I still wouldn't take it. But yeah. At whatever time this runs at, 7:45. Yeah. 5.7 million in prize money from Cascadian. I think this is just a nice, easy 1.5. 800,000 for his end of season trip.
Well, I don't know if I'm actually going to get a chance to watch it because I need to be in bed to get up at 6 a.m. to watch Australia on Sunday.
Oh, please. Come on, mate. If we can multi him into, Cascadian into the draw.
Into VAR?
Yeah, mate. If there is something about it, I'm going to have something on it.
Very good.
Any last thoughts, Matty?
No, mate, no. I'm quite comfortable with where you've landed for the pineapple. I think it is a very good choice.
I'll second that. We'll be back next week for off-peak racing at wherever they're going to land. I can't keep up anymore. It's just more races and more studying and more winners. So we'll be back next week. As always, thanks for joining us, Matty. And as always, as I like to say, hopefully you fill your pockets up. More importantly, we hope we fill your pockets up. And our sign-off for each and every week is back again for one more sayonara.
I'm not a good person, but it just goes to show that good things do happen to bad people. So anyone out there who's up against the wall, fucking stick to it. Every cent you got, your rent, your electricity bill, if you're going to buy your missus a ring, don't fucking do it. Keep punting. Keep fucking punting.